Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Learn Mathematics. This is Rekha Chavla, your maths teacher. Students, I hope you all are doing great and giving good enough time to your studies. We have completed chapter number 5, Continuity and Differentiability, and I hope you must have understood all the concepts. If you missed any of the video, any of the topic, then please go back to my YouTube channel and watch that specific topic for better understanding. Otherwise, I have provided links of all the playlists in the description box as well. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe this channel and post a comment after watching the complete video. So today let's start another chapter, chapter number 6, application of derivatives, where we are going to discuss use of derivatives, increasing decreasing functions, and then we will discuss few questions of exercise 6.2. So here we go. Students, derivatives are constantly used in everyday's life to help measure how much something is changing with respect to other thing. We can see small examples around us even in our home. When we want to fill a bucket with water, when we open the tap, then how we get to know when this bucket will be filled with water? It depends on something. You decide the time it will be filled in half an hour or within 5 minutes. It depends on something. What is that something? That is flow of water. So again, filling the bucket depends on the flow of the water, right? So this is change in one thing with respect to change in other thing. So another example, we can say these applications or these derivatives are used by the government in population censuses, various types of sciences, and even in economics. Derivatives are very useful in physics as well as in chemistry also. Now, concave up. See, which type of graph is this? The derivative of a function basically gives the slope, and when the slope continuously increases, the function is concave upward. Taking the second derivative actually tells us if the slope continuously increases or decreases. When the second derivative is positive, the function is concave upward. Second derivative we learned in the last topic in last chapter. Second derivative basically tells us about the shape of the graph. Concave down, when the slope continuously decreases, the function is concave downward, and when the second derivative is negative, the function is concave downwards. Now let's talk about increasing decreasing functions first of all. Let I be an interval contained in the domain of a real valued function f, then f is said to be increasing on that interval if x1 is less than x2 in that specific interval, which implies fx1 is less than equal to fx2. And the graph of this function will be somewhat like this. If x is increasing, then fx is also increasing. Second is strictly increasing. Strictly increasing means if x1 is less than x2, then outputs means fx1 and fx2 are also following the same relationship. We call strictly increasing functions as monotonic increasing as well, because they only increase and increase. They don't get stable anywhere. Their derivative does not get zero anywhere. Another one is decreasing. Decreasing on interval I. If x1 is less than x2, then fx1 is greater than equal to fx2. Decreasing function means when x is increasing but the value of fx is decreasing, or sometime it is equal also. Then we have strictly decreasing. We call it as monotonic decreasing as well. Here what happens? Students, this type of function decreases and only decreases. A function which is increasing sometime in some interval and then it starts decreasing, then again it starts increasing, like we can say the function sine x, cos x. You know the graphs of these functions very well. So we call those functions as neither increasing nor decreasing. Another way, students, another definition, let x not be a point in the domain of definition of a real valued function f, then f is said to be strictly increasing, decreasing, or strictly decreasing at x naught, that point, if there exists an open interval I. Why are we saying open interval? Because students, we know if we take closed interval, then let's say close interval AB. So A and B will be the end points, and at end points, at sharp points, function is not differentiable. So we take the open interval I containing x naught such that f is increasing, strictly increasing, decreasing, or strictly decreasing respectively in I. Now let's understand this theorem. Let f be continuous on this interval AB, closed interval, and differentiable as well on the open interval. Again we are talking about open interval. Why? Now we understand. And then f is strictly increasing in this interval if slope is greater than 0 or the derivative f dash x is greater than 0. Strictly decreasing in this closed interval when this derivative f dash x is less than 0, and f is constant in this closed interval is f dash x is equal to 0. Now let's understand with the help of these graphs. Let's say this red one is a graph of any function. We draw few tangents, these black lines. In this graph, we can observe that students, if you extend these lines, these tangents, and you bring to x-axis, then definitely they will have a positive slope. So we can say f dash x is greater than 0 in this interval when our x lies from a to b. So it means this function is definitely increasing. And now another graph. Here if we draw some tangents and we bring them down on the x-axis, we can see very well here we have negative slopes. So f dash x is less than 0, and when x lies between a to b, so fx is a decreasing function. Here you can understand students, here the function is increasing, and we can say y dash means the slope or the derivative is greater than 0. This is maximum point, then it starts decreasing, and when the function is decreasing, definitely derivative is slope is negative less than 0. Then this is minimum point, minimum value. We will learn maxima minima also in my further videos. I will discuss these things, and then it starts increasing, and here definitely again y dash means slope is greater than 0. Now let's discuss few questions. Show that the function fx equal to 3x plus 17 is increasing on R. Let x1 and x2 be any two numbers in R. x1 is less than x2. Then we are adding 7, we are multiplying with 3 and we are adding 17. So what is this fx1 and what is this fx2? So they are also following the same relationship. So it means f is strictly increasing. Now fx is equal to exponential function e raised to the power 2x. So now let's take x1 and x2. Let x1 less than x2, so 2x1 also less than 2x2. We are multiplying with 2. Then let's take the exponential function. Then definitely fx1 is less than fx2. So this is also strictly increasing. Now show that this function sin x is increasing in this interval, decreasing in this interval, and neither increasing nor decreasing in 0 to pi. Students, we know this thing with the help of graph very well. Now let's discuss here. Fx is sin x. What is the derivative? Cos x. Now x belongs to 0 to pi by 2. 0 to pi by 2 means first quadrant. In first quadrant, cos x is definitely greater than 0. It is positive. So it means f dash x is greater than 0 in this interval. So it is strictly increasing. Now let's move on to pi by 2 to pi, which means second quadrant. What is the value of cos in the second quadrant? We know in second quadrant only sine and cosec are positive, rest all are negative. So it means cos x is negative in this interval, second quadrant. So derivative is less than 0. It means it is strictly decreasing. Now 0 to pi, students, in first part, A part, we have seen first quadrant it is increasing. Second part we have seen in second quadrant it is decreasing. So a function, the result obtained in A and B are sufficient to state that the function is neither increasing nor decreasing in 0 to pi. Fourth, we have to find the interval. Now the function is given and we have to find the interval in which it is increasing and decreasing. Very good type of question, students. Here what we have to do, we have to calculate critical points, and how to solve these type of questions, let's understand. The given function is this 2x square minus 3x. Derivative is 4x minus 3. Now for finding the critical points, what we do, we equate the derivative with 0. F dash x is equal to 0, so x is equal to 3 by 4. Let's plot this critical point on the number line, minus infinity to 3 by 4 and 3 by 4 to infinity. We have got two disjoint intervals. Now let's take any value from this interval minus infinity to 3 by 4. What value we can take here, students? Let's take 0, right? If we take 0, so 4 into 0 minus 3, we are getting negative, which is less than 0. So from minus infinity to 3 by 4, the function is strictly decreasing. Now let's take any value from 3 by 4 to infinity. Let's take 1. So 4 into 1 minus 3. 4 minus 3 means positive, which is greater than 0. So it means 3 by 4 to infinity, the function is strictly increasing. Same way, for this function, we have to find the interval where it is increasing and decreasing. First of all, calculate f dash x. We are getting the critical points as minus 2 and 3. Now we got 3 disjoint intervals, minus infinity to minus 2, minus 2 to 3, and 3 to infinity. Let's take any point from this interval. Let's take minus 3. So if we take minus 3 here, so minus 3 plus 2 something negative, minus 3 into minus 3 minus 3 something negative, and negative negative positive. So it means which is greater than 0, and minus infinity to minus 2, the function derivative is greater than 0. So it means the function is strictly increasing in this interval. Now let's take any value in this interval minus 2 to 3. We can take 0. So 0 plus 2 something positive, 0 minus 3 something negative. So overall we are getting negative value. So in this interval f dash x is less than 0. So it is strictly decreasing. Now 3 to infinity, let's take any value. Let's take 4. 4 plus 2 something positive, 4 minus 3 something positive. So overall result is positive. So f dash x is greater than 0. It means the function is strictly increasing. Now question number 7, a good question. Y is equal to log 1 plus x minus 2x upon 2 plus x. X is greater than minus 1 is an increasing function of x throughout its domain. Y is given. First of all, let's calculate dy by dx. I hope you all know how to find dy by dx now. We are applying quotient rule here and we are calculating. We are getting dy by dx as this. Now this thing is a whole square, students, so always positive, as square is always positive. Now we have to talk about 1 upon 1 plus x. Finding the value dy by dx greater than 0. So this thing is definitely greater than 0. So 1 upon 1 plus x should be greater than 0. It is only possible when 1 plus x is greater than 0, right? And x should be greater than minus 1. So that's what we wanted to prove. So it is proved. Question number 9, y is equal to 4 sine theta upon 2 plus cos theta minus theta is an increment function. It means we have to show it is an increasing function in this interval. First of all, dy by d theta, everybody knows how to find. Now dy by d theta equal to 0, we are finding the critical points. Cos theta is equal to 0 or cos theta equal to 4. 4 is really not possible. Why? Because the range of cos theta is minus 1 to 1. So 4 is not at all possible. So now we can consider cos theta equal to 0. If cos theta is equal to 0, so theta we can say it is pi by 2. Now come back to that derivative that we calculated, dy by d theta. Open it and solve it. Now what are we getting, students? Here we are getting cos 4 minus cos theta upon 2 plus cos theta whole square. 4 is greater than cos theta, so definitely 4 minus cos theta is also greater than 0. We can say this thing, right? Because the range of cos theta is what? Minus 1 to 1. Definitely 4 is greater than this, so 4 minus cos theta is greater than 0. This is anyways whole square, so greater than 0. So we can say this entire thing is greater than 0. dy by d theta is greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, so it means it is strictly increasing. Now, question number 14, for what values of a the function this is increasing in this interval 1 to 2? First of all, calculate derivative. Now, what are we getting? F dash x is greater than 0 because they are saying function has to be increasing. Greater than 0, so x should be greater than minus a by 2. Our x lies from 1 to 2, including 1 and 2 as well. Now, if we take the value, minimum value, let's say 1, so a should be greater than minus 2. If we take the maximum value 2, so a should be greater than minus 4. If a is greater than minus 2 and a is greater than minus 4, so it is sufficient to say that a should be greater than minus 2. Students, I hope you must have understood increasing decreasing functions, and now you can try rest of the questions of the exercise yourself, and please don't forget to post the comment in the comment box. Thank you very much.